This video is to go over numbers 5, 6, and 7 on Test 4 test review. So let's take a look at number 5. So it says you work 40 hours a week at a furniture store. You receive a $220 weekly salary plus a 3% commission on sales over $5,000. Assume that you sell enough this week to get the commission. So question A is asking, given the functions f of x equals 0.03x and g of x equals x minus 5,000, which of the two compositions, so f of g of x or g of f of x, represents your commission? So we know that we get a commission on sales over $5,000. So we know that we're going to be having to substitute into the function f. So now I'm going to look at the two compositions. So f of g of x and g of f of x. So I know I'm going to be substituting into f of x because to figure out the commission, it's 3% of the sales. So in function f, I'm multiplying 3% times some value x. So f of g of x is going to be the function that represents the commission because I'm going to be substituting something into the function f, which is what I need. So for question A, f of g of x represents commission. Alright, so in question B it says write the function that represents the commission. So now we're actually going to have to perform the composition. So f of x equals 0.03x and g of x equals x minus 5,000. So we're going to have to figure out what f of g of x equals. So we know we're going to be substituting g of x into f of x. So we're going to have 0.03, and then instead of x we're going to put the function g. So x minus 5,000. So then we can distribute the 300ths. So 0.03x minus 0.03 times 5,000 is 1,500. So then f of g of x equals 0.03x minus 1,500. So this is the function to figure out commission. Alright, so in question number 6, it says describe 3 different ways of determining if two functions are inverses. So the first way is to graph it. So you can look at the graph graphically. So look at the graph and if the two functions are symmetric about y equals x, then the two functions are inverses of each other. Alright, so the second way is to check the table. So if you look at the table, and you should see that your X and Y, so look at the table, you should see that your X and Y values are switched for the inverse. For example, f of 1 equals 3, so then f inverse of 3 should equal 1. So your X and Y values are switched. So this ordered pair would be 1, 3. This ordered pair would be 3, 1. So the X and Y is switched. And the last way to check to see if two functions are inverses is to find the composition. So find the compositions f of g of x and g of f of x. They should both equal x. So if you find the composition and they both equal x, that means that the two functions are inverses of each other. So if they equal x, then the two functions are inverses of each other. Alrighty, so now we're going to talk about number 7. So it says Michael and Mary are not agreeing on their answers and finding the inverse of h of x equals negative the quantity x minus 5 squared minus 7. So check over their work and decide who was correct and explain what the other did wrong. So we're just going to start out by writing down the problem. So h of x h of x equals negative x minus 5 quantity squared minus 7. So now we're just going to start finding the inverse. So first step is always to change h of x to y. So y equals negative x minus 5 quantity squared minus 7. So now let's look at their work. So they both started out writing down the equation, which is what we did. So all three of us so far are on the same page. So let's check out their second step. So they changed h of x to y, which is the same thing we did. So far so good. So now let's do the second step. So second step is to switch x and y. So we'll get x equals negative y minus 5 quantity squared minus 7. So now let's check and see if we're all still on the same page. Alright, So let's see. So they both have x equals negative the quantity y minus 5 squared minus 7. So we're all still on the same page. So now let's start trying to solve for y. So we have minus 7 over here, so we're going to add 7 to both sides. So we're going to get x plus 7 equals negative y minus 5 quantity squared. Alright, so now let's check. Alrighty, so Michael has x minus 7 equals negative y minus 5 quantity squared, and Mary has x plus 7 equals negative y minus 5 quantity squared. So let's check to see what we have. So we also have x plus 7 equals negative y minus 5 quantity squared. So our answer matches Mary's. So at this step right here, Michael made a mistake. So let's see what his mistake was. So at this step, he was still on the right track. So he had minus 7. But then when he tried to take this 7 to the other side of the equal sign, he forgot to switch it. So this x minus 7 should really be x plus 7. So Mary is correct. Michael did not add 7 to both sides to get rid of the minus 7 in the third line. Alright, so Mary is correct. Michael didn't add 7 to both sides to get rid of the minus 7 in the third line. So right here, he was supposed to add 7 to both sides, and he forgot to change the sign of the 7. So this concludes questions 5, 6, and 7 on test 4 test review.